What's up, everyone? It's GG Sober Sun. April 12th. This sober world is a pleasant place for an alcoholic to live. Once you've gotten out of your alcoholic fog, you find that the world looks good. You find real friends in AA. You get a job. You feel good in the morning. You eat a good breakfast and you do a good day's work at home or outside. And your family loves you and welcomes you because you're sober. Am I convinced that this sober world is a pleasant place for an alcoholic to live in? Now, I get it. Not everybody's gonna be appreciated by their family just because they got sober. You know, it's like, you know, I can't remember where it is. Maybe it's the family afterward. We believe a man unthinking who says sobriety is enough. It's like the guy who comes up out of the storm cellar and says, "Ain't it grand the wind stopped blowing, ma?" And their world is in a complete catastrophe after the storm, you know. And so, you know, it's doesn't always happen as smoothly as that, but definitely it can get so much better when we first stop drinking that we think that it's just because, hey, circumstances have changed and my life has gotten better and I start feeling better, and that, you know, hey, why don't I go just celebrate? You know, if it's this easy, if it gets this much better after I take a little break from alcohol, then, you know, why not go back to my comfort, my sense of ease and comfort as well? It's easy to slip back into that trap, but don't do it. It does no good. It's no bueno. Meditation for the day. Our need is God's opportunity. First, we must recognize our need. Often this means helplessness before some weakness or sickness and an admission of our need for help. Often this means helplessness before some weakness or sickness and an admission of our need for help. Next comes faith in the power of God's Spirit available to us to meet that need. Before any need can be met, our faith must find expression. That expression of faith is all God needs to manifest His power in our lives. Faith is the key that unlocks the storehouse of God's resources. Now that's some pretty grandiose language there, right? Especially for people new in recovery, that's just like, look, I'm admit that I got my butt handed to me. Right? Or I had this terrible experience, you know, and I had a guy that when I was living in England, it was an American guy who, you know, he had the same thing happen. He had some terrible experience, and then he came in, he got sober for a while because he could tell that things weren't going well, and he was frightened. You know, so he came in, he got sober for a while, and then convinced himself that it wasn't that bad, or that was an isolated incident, or whatever. But you know, so, and I think it's the God thing sometimes for people. So it doesn't have to, you know, they think they've got to jump to this theology or what have you about, you know, or get religious or something like that. Well, it doesn't have to happen that way, right? So early on, it may evolve to that over time, but early on, it's like, okay, I have a problem. I believe that AA can help, right? So AA becomes that power source. Admitted we're powerless over alcohol, that our life is unmanageable, right? That's the first step, clearly. Second step, came to believe that a power greater than myself could restore me to sanity. Well, that can be AA as an institution, if you want to call it that. or an organization, if that's really a loose term for AA. But you say, okay, I believe AA can help me. That's a power source greater than you. And then step 3, turn my will and my life over to the power of God as I understood God. God in that case can be a group of drunks, G-O-D, right? Or a group of druggies. It's somebody other than you. And if you stay in close contact with that group of drunks or group of druggies, then, you know, you can bounce ideas off of them. They can give you ideas or potential decisions off of them. They can give you share their experience, strength, and hope with you. It's still a power source greater than you. And you're not just looking to yourself for all of your decisions or all of your, all your decisions, all your life decisions. And you may still go ahead and do the dumb things you wanted to do, right? But at least you know that, hey, these people genuinely are want to help, because they don't want to see me experience the same thing, the same mistakes that I experienced. And that's what I loved about AA in the early days. I can make mistakes now vicariously through other people, rather than, having to, live my life and fall on my face and crash and burn. I used to think that's the only way I wanted to grow, I guess. It's like I gotta live my life and experience my experiences. And after a while, I was like, crap, that sucks. And so people would say, yeah, if you want what I have, then do what I do. And if you don't want the terrible outcomes that I got, maybe not do what I did in those cases. But so, prayer for the day. I pray that I may first admit my needs. I pray that I may have faith that God will meet those needs in the way which is best for me. And that's not always exactly how I want it. But one thing that has come to me over the past little while is it's actually a Christian basic text that says exceedingly abundantly more than I could ever think or ask. So God is able to do exceedingly abundantly more than I could ever think or ask. And to me, and I've seen him do it. I've seen him do it in my own life. And I may have already shared this, but I wouldn't be walking this beach right now on the regular if it wasn't for that very thing. I was trying to get an assignment when our time in England was coming to an end, and I was trying to get a special duty assignment to Maxwell Air Force Base in Montgomery, Alabama, because it was 3 hours away from my sister who lived in Gulf Breeze. Or that's about 3 hours, I think. And 3 hours drive. And so I wanted to be somewhat close to family. And that was probably the closest thing that was going at the time. Well, initially we wanted to stay overseas, or I did anyway. But then I got that assignment, or no, I didn't get that assignment. But I remember praying for that assignment, saying, God, you know what we want. We want to be close to family. Actually, I prayed with my entire family, all 4 of us, my wife and 2 kids, my wife at the time and the 2 kids, saying, God, we want to be close to family. But I know that you have for us more than we could ever think or imagine. So your will, not ours, be done. And then, boom, through a huge chain of circumstances, we ended up getting my last assignment within a half an hour drive of my sister's house. right here on the beautiful Emerald Coast of Northwest Florida. Oh my gosh, it just still gives me goosebumps when I think about it. So don't get too specific. Well, you can, but know that I think the key for me, I believe, I don't know if this is theology or what have you, but the key for me was to let go of it. And a lot of manifestation types that talk about that, even non-Christian or non-religious type manifestation people, they talk about letting go of it. All right, you give it up, you feel it, and then you let go of it. Let go of the outcome or how it's going to come about, and then just let it happen. And so I think that part of that was for me saying, not our will, but yours be done. And that is something that is throughout the AA literature. Not my will, but yours be done. We don't know what's best for us. So letting go of that and letting God meet our needs as He sees fit, not how I demand it, is huge. So keep on keeping on, folks. Look up, aim up, and rise up. Love you.